There is a man who is not thinking about her right now. Not because he doesn't care. Not because he is playing a game or following a strategy someone taught him. But because he is genuinely, completely absorbed in something that matters to him. He is building something, pursuing something, becoming something. And that absorption, that quiet, total investment in his own direction, is doing something to the people around him that he isn't even aware of. She notices, not because he is unavailable, not because he is withholding, but because a man who has somewhere to be, something to build, and a reason to get up every morning, carries an energy that most people have never encountered up close. And the human brain, her brain, anyone's brain is wired to be drawn toward that energy in ways that bypass logic entirely. We have been told for years that attraction is about looks, status, money, charisma, and while those things play a role, they are all downstream of something deeper. Something most men never develop, and most conversations about attraction never mention. The fourth pattern we'll cover today is the one that explains why some men are pursued without trying. Stay with this, because what you understand by the end will change how you see everything. Most men learn about attraction backwards. They start with the question, what can I do to make her interested? And that question, while completely understandable, contains a hidden problem. It positions the man as reactive, as someone whose primary orientation is toward another person's emotional response. And that orientation, sustained over time, does something corrosive to a man's presence. Because presence is not a performance. It cannot be manufactured in the direction of someone else. It is a byproduct of genuine engagement with your own life. And the men who have it truly have it are not thinking about their presence at all. They are thinking about their work, their craft, their direction, their growth. This is not a dating strategy. It is a description of what a psychologically complete man actually looks like, and why that completeness is so rare that it registers as remarkable to almost everyone who encounters it. The research on this is consistent and has been for decades. People, men and women both, are most powerfully attracted not to availability, not to eagerness, but to what psychologists call self-determination. The visible evidence that a person is living by their own values, moving toward their own goals, operating from an internal compass rather than an external one. When that quality is present in a man, something shifts in every room he enters. The dynamic changes not because he is manipulating it, but because he is genuinely different from what most people encounter daily. And today we are going to look at exactly how that difference shows up in 7 specific behavioral patterns that reveal what it actually means to be a man with a mission. Sign 1. He talks about what he's building, not what he's waiting for. Listen carefully to how men describe their lives. Many men, when asked what's going on, will describe what's happening to them. The job situation, the relationship situation, the circumstances they're navigating. The story is largely passive, life as something being experienced rather than directed. A man with a mission talks differently, not boastfully, not with performance, but when he describes his days, there is something active in it. Something is being built, a skill being sharpened, a project being moved forward, a direction being pursued with real investment. And this is not a communication style, it is a reflection of how he actually relates to his own time. Psychologically, this distinction maps onto what researcher Edward Desai and his colleagues identified as autonomous motivation, the experience of acting from genuine personal values rather than external pressure or approval seeking. Men operating from autonomous motivation are measurably more engaged, more energized, and more compelling to others. Not because they try to be, because engagement is contagious and genuine engagement is the rarest form. Sign 2. His time has real weight. There is a difference between a man who is busy and a man whose time has weight. Busy is a performance. It is the frantic scheduling, the constant apologizing for not responding faster, the visible stress of a person who has filled every hour but is directing none of them. That kind of busy is exhausting to be around, and it signals not importance but chaos. Weight is different. When a man's time has weight, it means the hours he gives are genuinely chosen. When he says yes to something, there is a real yes behind it, because there is a real no available to him. He is not filling time, he is allocating it. And the people in his life, including the woman who is drawn to him, feel the difference between being chosen and being defaulted to. This is not about manufactured scarcity. It is about what happens naturally when a man's life is actually full of things that matter to him. His attention becomes something of genuine value because it is genuinely in demand from his own commitments. Sign 3. He doesn't rearrange himself to seek approval. Watch what happens when a man with a mission receives subtle social pressure to adjust his direction. A colleague implies his project isn't worth the effort. A woman he's dating seems unimpressed by what he's working on. A friend group can't quite understand why he's investing so much in something with an uncertain outcome. The man without a mission feels this pressure immediately. He begins to qualify, to second guess, to soften his investment to match the skepticism of the room. Because his sense of direction is not deeply rooted, it bends easily under the weight of other people's doubts. The man with a mission feels the pressure and holds, not defensively, not arrogantly. He simply does not need the room's agreement to continue. His direction comes from inside, and external doubt does not constitute a reason to change course. This groundedness, this psychological rootedness is one of the most quietly powerful things another person can witness in a man. Sign 4. He is genuinely more interested in his work than in impressing anyone. This is the pattern that most completely explains the dynamic we're exploring, and it is the most counterintuitive one. We have been told in various ways that to attract someone you must focus on them, show interest, make them feel seen, be attentive to their responses. And while genuine emotional attention is essential in any real relationship, there is a paradox at work in early attraction that most people never understand. A man who is more interested in his work than in managing your impression of him is deeply compelling, not in spite of that absorption, but because of it. The brain reads total genuine engagement as a signal of depth, of substance, of a person who has something real going on beneath the surface. Neurologically, this connects to what researchers call the reward prediction system. When something valuable is clearly not primarily oriented toward us, when it has its own direction, its own momentum, our brain registers it as higher value. Not because scarcity is being performed, but because genuine investment in something beyond social approval is genuinely rare, and the brain knows the difference. A man absorbed in meaningful work is not pretending to be less available. He is less available because his life is actually full. And that fullness, that genuine engagement with something larger than the pursuit of approval, is the single most powerful attractor in any room. It cannot be faked sustainably, but it can be built, and building it changes everything, not just in attraction, but in every dimension of a man's life. Sign 5. He has standards for his own time and holds them. There is a particular kind of man who always makes himself available. Last-minute plans he adjusts, sudden requests he accommodates. His schedule is treated, by himself and others, as infinitely flexible, and on the surface this appears generous, accommodating, easy to be with. But what it communicates beneath the surface is that nothing in his life has stronger claim on his time than the last person who asked, and that signal, quiet, consistent, and cumulative, erodes the sense that his attention means anything in particular. A man with a mission holds standards for his time, not because he is strategically withholding, but because his time is actually committed to things he values. When he says he can't make something work on short notice, it's true. When he prioritizes a work block over a spontaneous social obligation, it comes from a real commitment, not a calculated move. Over time, this creates something powerful. The people in his life begin to understand that his yes means something, that his presence is chosen, not defaulted to. And that understanding, that genuine sense of being selected from a man who has real alternatives to giving you his time, is one of the most valuable relational experiences a person can offer. Sign 6. He handles setbacks without losing direction. Every man faces failure. Every man faces the moment when the thing he has been building does not go the way he planned. What separates men in those moments is not the absence of pain, it is the relationship with direction. A man whose identity is invested in outcomes will experience failure as a verdict on his worth. He may retreat, reevaluate who he is, lose momentum, seek comfort from others in ways that feel bottomless. A man with a mission experiences failure differently. The setback is real. The disappointment is genuine. But his direction does not change because the outcome was poor. He adjusts his approach, absorbs the lesson, and continues. His identity is not in the result, it is in the commitment to the work itself. This resilience is visible. It is legible to others in a way that is almost impossible to articulate, but impossible to miss, and it communicates a stability, a psychological rootedness that is among the rarest and most attractive qualities a person can carry. Sign 7. His relationships are additions to a full life, not the life itself. This is where everything comes together. A man without a mission often relates to romantic connection as the primary source of meaning. The relationship becomes the mission, which is a weight that no relationship can sustainably carry. It creates pressure, clinginess, the subtle desperation of a man who needs the relationship to work, because without it, there is an emptiness he doesn't know how to fill. A man with a mission enters relationships differently. He brings a full life to the table, not as a boast, not as a strategy, but simply because his life is genuinely full. The relationship adds to something that already exists. It enhances, deepens, enriches, but it does not constitute. And that distinction changes the entire relational dynamic. He is easier to be with because he is not asking the relationship to be everything. He is more attractive because his presence is genuinely given, not desperately offered. And the woman who enters his life is not being leaned on, she is being invited into something that was already moving. All 7 of these patterns connect to one underlying psychological truth. Psychologists call it self-determination, the condition in which a person's behavior is governed, primarily by internal values and genuine engagement, rather than by external validation or the approval of others. And research consistently shows that self-determined individuals are not just more satisfied in their own lives, they are measurably more compelling to others. The 5 internal stages through which this develops follow a recognizable arc. First, a man identifies something he genuinely values, not something he thinks he should value, but something that actually moves him. Second, he begins investing in it consistently, even when results are uncertain and external encouragement is absent. Third, he experiences the discomfort of prioritizing his direction over social approval and survives it. Fourth, his identity begins to shift from other-referenced to self-referenced. He knows what he is doing and why, without requiring others to agree. Fifth, and this is where the transformation becomes visible to others, his energy changes. The anxiety of approval seeking is replaced by the quieter, steadier energy of a man who is genuinely on his way somewhere. That energy is what people feel when they walk into a room with him. That is what creates the dynamic we've been describing. Not strategy, not performance, just the unmistakable presence of a man who knows where he is going. The science here is both well-established and frequently misunderstood. Self-determination theory, developed by Edward Desai and Richard Ryan over 4 decades of research, identifies 3 core psychological needs that drive human motivation and well-being: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. When all 3 are met through a person's primary life engagement through their work, their craft, their mission, something measurable happens to their psychological profile. They become more resilient, more energized, more emotionally regulated, and significantly more attractive to others. The attraction component is not incidental. Research in evolutionary psychology consistently finds that signals of genuine purposefulness, visible engagement with meaningful goals, are among the most powerful attractors across cultures and contexts. This is not because purposefulness signals wealth or status, though it may correlate with both. It is because purposefulness signals psychological health. It signals a nervous system that is oriented toward building rather than seeking, toward creating rather than consuming, toward growth rather than approval. At the neurological level, a man living from genuine mission operates with lower baseline cortisol, the stress hormone most associated with social anxiety and approval-seeking behavior. His threat detection system is less easily triggered by social disapproval. His prefrontal cortex, responsible for long-term planning and emotional regulation, is more consistently engaged. He literally thinks and feels differently than a man whose primary orientation is toward other people's responses. What most people misunderstand about attraction is that it is not primarily a response to what someone does. It is a response to what someone is. And what a person is at the level others can feel but not always articulate is shaped almost entirely by the quality of their relationship with their own life's direction. A man can learn every social skill, every conversational technique, every external marker of attractiveness and still carry the subtle, detectable energy of someone who is fundamentally waiting to be chosen. That energy is felt, it is responded to, and it undermines everything else. The only correction is a real one. Build something, commit to something. Become genuinely absorbed in a direction that matters to you. The rest adjusts around that. There is a broader context that makes this conversation more urgent than it might seem. We are living in an era of profound directionlessness. Not because people are lazy or uncommitted, but because the modern environment is specifically designed to fragment attention, dissolve long-term investment, and replace genuine engagement with the shallow simulation of it. The scroll, the notification, the endless stream of other people's highlight reels. These things do not just waste time. They quietly train the mind away from the sustained, focused investment that mission requires. In this environment, a man who has genuinely committed to building something, who can sit with a difficult project, endure uncertainty, delay gratification, and stay the course without constant external reinforcement is not just more attractive. He is genuinely unusual. He is a person the modern world is actively working against, and he is winning that battle daily. This matters beyond attraction. It matters because a man without a mission is a man who is available to be defined by whatever is loudest around him, by trends, by other people's expectations, by the default life that simply happens when no alternative is chosen. Direction is not a luxury. It is the foundation of everything, of confidence, of presence, of the kind of relationships that are worth having. And the man who understands this does not wait for the right moment to begin. He understands that beginning is the moment. So let me ask you something directly. Not as a challenge, as an honest question. If the most important person in your life asked you today what you are building, what would you say? Not your job title, not your responsibilities, not the things you manage and maintain. But what are you genuinely, actively, intentionally building with the time that is yours? If that question produces a clear, energized answer, then you already know what this video has been describing from the inside. You live it. The only work is continuing. But if that question produces hesitation, a kind of quiet uncertainty about what your direction actually is, then that hesitation is the most important information you have received today, because it points to the exact place where everything begins, not tomorrow, not when circumstances improve, not when the relationship situation is resolved or the external conditions are right. Now, with what you have, with the hours available to you this week, recognition is not failure. It is the beginning of genuine movement. And the man who sits with that honest recognition, who doesn't immediately distract himself from it, is already closer to the version of himself he is capable of becoming than he was when this video began. Before you go, 2 questions worth sitting with. The first, is there a meaningful difference between a man who is genuinely pursuing his mission and one who has simply convinced himself that being unavailable is the same thing? And if so, how does a man know which one he actually is? The second, at what point does a man stop waiting for the right conditions to commit to his direction, and what is it that finally makes him begin? Leave your thoughts below. The most honest answers are always the most useful ones. At the beginning of this, I described a man who is not thinking about her right now. Not because he is playing a game. Not because he has been coached to withhold. But because he has something genuine to attend to. Something he has chosen. Something he is building with real investment and real intention. That man does not chase. Not because chasing is beneath him, but because his life is already moving, and movement in a clear direction is the most honest invitation he can offer anyone. The relationship worth having is the one that joins something already in motion, and the only way to offer that is to actually be in motion. Genuinely, consistently. Not as a version of yourself that is performing direction, but as a man who has made the internal decision that his life will mean something. Regardless of who is watching, that decision is quiet. It is made alone. And it changes everything that comes after. The man who makes it stops wondering why connection feels difficult. He becomes too absorbed in what he is building to wonder very much at all.